Juju Watkins, USC's basketball phenom, just tore her ACL in the second round of the NCAA tournament. The injury shocked the sports world and derailed her sophomore campaign, and USC's chances of winning a title. But here's what most people don't know. Juju might have been fighting through other issues before the ACL tear even happened. In fact, she was taken out of the previous game after rolling her ankle. What's really interesting, the ankle sprain happened on the same leg as her ACL tear. This is huge from a biomechanical perspective. After getting treatment in the previous game in the locker room, she returned to play, despite USC already blowing out their opponents. Some question why the coach, medical staff, and Juju herself made that call. But having been the head of rehab for the Los Angeles Football Club for 6 seasons, I know these decisions aren't so simple. You can't really judge unless you're part of the internal decision-making process. My niece actually played alongside Juju at Sierra Canyon High School, where I saw firsthand not only her talent as a basketball player, but how she would battle through pain. Even back in her senior year, she was often hobbling with an ankle injury, but kept pushing through it. Pushing through the pain is often seen as a badge of honor for athletes. They're celebrated for their toughness, their willingness to sacrifice their bodies for the team. And that's what elite athletes do. They play through discomfort. But I've discovered something counterintuitive in my years working with elite athletes. Sometimes, the harder you push, the worse things get. Finding that perfect balance is incredibly difficult. It's an art as much as it is a science. Making the right call requires listening on multiple levels. You have to listen with your ears to what athletes tell you, while reading between the lines of their words. Their tone, their hesitations, these subtle cues tell a deeper story. You need to listen with your eyes, because faulty movement patterns reveal tales of pain and discomfort. Listening with your hands tells you about the tension, the stress, and the recovery of the muscles, ligaments, and joints. The body gives off signs that athletes sometimes won't tell you about, and you must listen with your brain, assembling all of these puzzle pieces into a coherent picture. But perhaps most importantly, you need to listen with your heart. You must consider the player's dreams alongside the team's needs, weighing the risk in every situation. But here's the problem most coaches miss. Previous injuries dramatically increase the risk for new ones. An ankle with limited mobility can force your knee to absorb extra stress during a play. Think of your leg as a chain of joints that share the load when you move. When one link is compromised, the others have to compensate. Her recent ankle sprain likely affected how forces were distributed up that same leg. This creates a biomechanical nightmare that makes it hard for all of the components of the lower body to load share appropriately. When Juju was dribbling at top speed with a defender on her, she had to suddenly slow down near the basket. Her body needed to absorb massive forces. That deceleration motion requires the ankle, knee, and the hip to work perfectly together. If any link in that chain is weakened, something's going to give. In Juju's case, it was her ACL that finally snapped under the pressure. The ankle injury might have seemed minor, but it likely changed her movement patterns in subtle ways. These changes can throw off an entire athlete's biomechanical system. I've seen this pattern repeat itself countless times with professional athletes. One small injury leads to compensation, which leads to a much bigger injury down the line. It's like this domino effect inside your body. You might think you're fine, but your body is quietly redistributing forces in dangerous ways. And this is exactly what makes proper rehabilitation so critical. It's not just about healing the damaged tissues. It's about restoring proper movement patterns before the return to play. Unfortunately, the pressure to perform often rushes this process. Athletes want to get back quickly. Coaches need their stars, and fans want to see their favorites play. This pressure creates a perfect storm for cascading injuries like what happened with Juju. You know what's crazy? Studies show that up to 25% of athletes who tear one ACL will tear the other one within 2 years. This isn't just bad luck. It's about how the entire body adapts after injury. When I worked with pro soccer players, we'd spend months rebuilding their movement patterns. It wasn't enough to strengthen the injured area alone. After surgery, Juju has a few grueling months of rehab in front of her. It is incredibly difficult not only physically, but emotionally. Players want to play, so a piece of them is missing when they don't get to enjoy the sport that they love. They don't like to hear this. But it's a good opportunity to refocus on not only the injury, but improving the things that need work. Many of these things, such as mobility, strength, flexibility, and stability, are often casted to the side because they are exhausted from playing so many games. This is a great opportunity for her to transform "it is what it is" to "it is what I make of it." I have no doubt that Juju will come back better than before, so she can continue to show the world how amazing she really is. Hey, if you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification for our latest tips coming to you every week. Share this video with your family and friends. It might just make their day a little bit better. I'll see you soon.